Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. Never forget a special moment for the important people in your life. Present Gifting is a free reminder service for birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and more. Register for free at presentgifting.com. Laura Gillot and the Gillot Home Team have supported The Experience since the beginning, delivering the key to home ownership through stellar customer service, integrity, and joy. Learn more at teamgillot.com. Your trusted mortgage professional is just a click away. Learn more at capitalmortgagesource.com. Cancer touches everyone. Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer in-person event will be October 2nd through the 4th, 2026 in Garrison, New York. Learn more at perspectivesoncancer.com. And now let's get on with the show. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Here we are live on The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. So glad to be here with you this morning. Scott, how you doing?
You know, I'm doing great. It's just been a really fun week. And tomorrow starts the 10th Waco Independent Film Festival. WacoIndie.com voted internationally one of the top 25 coolest film festivals in the world. And I even have this little enamel pin that says, I make Waco the coolest. And that starts tomorrow night. And my friend and our friend, Russ Johns, is going to be coming up, hanging out. He's going to stay here in my place. And we're going to be going to so many different events over the next 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
That's amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Russ Johns is such a good friend and just very thankful that you get that opportunity, Scott. That is so great to have a good friend like that to be able to go with. You know, I don't know if everybody knows your story, but that makes it even more special to have somebody to go with because the person you were originally going with is not able to go with you. And, you know, that I think the fact that, you know, you and I talk a lot about not isolating. Mm-hmm. And I think you have been a perfect example of reaching out, seeking community, seeking friends, which we all need, especially when we're having challenging times. And I can truly speak to that as well as I try to do that with what I've been going through. It helps you so much more than people really realize.
You know, you were in the hospital. You'd just been, they had the brain tumor and it was bleeding. And so you're in Oregon Health Sciences University in Portland. I happened to be up in Oregon at the time and came up to visit you. And I go onto the floor. I go to the nursing station and tell them I'm looking for Russ Hedge. And they go, oh, he's had a lot of visitors today. So
that was a busy day.
Every day. And you know, you know, I'll go back to my favorite movie of all time is The Wizard of Oz. And at the end, when Dorothy is saying goodbye to everybody, and the wizard is there, and he's kind of saying his farewells to all the characters. And he comes up to the Tin Man who wanted a heart, and you know, and he said that a heart is not measured by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others. And I thought of that instantly when I came up and they said, Russ Hedge, he's had so many visitors. We know how greatly you are loved, Russ.
Well, you know what? I appreciate that, but you are so loved too, Scott. And that has been evident by people reaching out to you. And I was going to say one thing about The Wizard of Oz. You know, we all have early childhood memories of things. My first memory of The Wizard of Oz, which I watched probably mostly every year of my life growing up, was I was in Seaside, Oregon at my great Aunt Clara's house and other family in Seaside, Oregon. And we were watching that movie and I fell asleep. And I remember my parents having to, carry me to the car and, get me in and get us going. But I remember that was one of the earliest memories I have of
Wow.
The Wizard of Oz, because it was such a good movie. And I started watching it when I was so young.
Oh, we all did, and it was back in the day before video cassette tapes, before DVDs, before streaming video, back when you had to wait for it to come
Yeah.
on, and for many of us, we watched it first in black and white, or as my TV was actually more blue and white in those
Yeah.
days, and so when she went to Kansas, I didn't really notice anything different,
Yeah.
or she
Yeah.
left Kansas, right? When she ends up in the land of Oz. But anyway, it's been a good week. I'm looking forward to the film festival. WacoIndie.com. People can go see. They're going to do an online version as a follow up, so people that even aren't in Texas, I pity you, but you can be able to watch remotely some of the festivities. So anyway, Russ, we got a great guest
Oh my
today,
goodness.
and we know that you have some different procedures coming up. You've got radiation coming up, so I'll just remind people to pray for Russ, because it's going to be an everyday deal going up and getting the treatment.
And I am so thankful for that, Scott. I need all your prayers, and I appreciate all of you praying for me. There have been thousands of people around the world reaching out and praying for me, and I just appreciate that so much. I appreciate the ability to be able to encourage and inspire people to say the fact that, you know what, God's not done with me yet. Life is not over because you have challenges. My
Yeah.
challenges and the cancer do not define me. I am defined by God, and I'm defined by what I choose to do, because, every day, Scott, life happens and then you choose, right?
Absolutely.
Live
And
your life.
people still have time to sign up and go to Garrison, New York, coming up this October, and go to the live Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer event, and hear some inspirational stories like Russ's.
Yes, and I will be one of the keynote speakers there. So looking forward to people coming. So please reach out and sign up. If you have any questions, you can email me or message me, whatever. But with that, I want to get Jeff in the room, because Dr. Jeffrey Berger is an amazing, amazing friend. Good, amazing guy, and doing a lot. Got a new book coming out, different things. So I want to get him in the room and let's chat with him. What do you think?
Absolutely.
All right, so we got to do the big opening for him here.
Mhm.
I'm getting this all going again here. So here we go.
Dr. Jeffrey.
Gentlemen,
Glad
good
to have you
morning.
here.
Good morning from Southwest Florida. How are you?
Beautiful.
But so good. And Jeff, I appreciate you coming on today. What a blessing to have you here. We're just going to start off with the basics. Like, who in the world is Dr. Jeffrey Berger? What are you up to?
Oh my gosh, who in the world is Dr. Jeffrey E. Berger? That's a mouthful. So, I am an ex-Western New Yorker, and I'm a transplant down to Southwest Florida. I lived most of my life up in the Northeast and just got tired of the cold and the winters and all that stuff, and came down to sunny Florida. So I've been down here since 2017 with my husband. We just started our 20th year together, July
Congratulations.
2nd. Thank you so much. And life is good. Life is really, really good. So it's been an amazing journey, if you will. A major roller coaster ride since I left corporate America in 2015 after 30 years as a software engineer, wanting to really leave this world with some type of an impact. And it wasn't happening in corporate America. So first couple of years I explored and kind of found a niche in holistic wellness. And that's kind of started my journey with regards to abundance in optimum wellness over here. And I am of the belief that we all should be living a life, or be able to create a lifestyle to live in abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So that started the journey in 2018, coming off of 5 medications And it has brought me into today over the last couple of years, really focusing on the aspect of being a holistic health coach with a finance first approach, because as we know, finances are the number one stressor. And if that stressor is there, then everything else is unaligned. And once you can start getting your finances together, then everything else falls into place. And that's what I've been discovering over the last several years, not only with myself, but with a lot of the people that I'm engaging with today.
I think people really need to find, what is it that really makes life worth living, right? Many of us were raised to follow that corporate path. As they say, it was like graduate high school, go to college, go to work for a big corporation, build up a retirement account, retire, and die. That doesn't really sound like a very interesting life, or a life that leaves a legacy. And so this is what I hear you talking about, is that, and so I want you to share a little bit about the book. And Russ has got an image here that we can put up, because there's some things that I want you to talk about about this book. Russ, if you can show that there. Yeah, the money shift, and there's a QR code there that people can scan. And so
the QR code is to register do a pre-launch registration. So I'm wrapping up on the editing and the visuals, so forth and so on. So right now I'm gearing for an August 22nd launch, and the powers to be will let me know if that will work out, and hopefully that will happen. And that August 22nd is a memorable day for me, because it's my parents' anniversary, and it's also a younger brother and his wife's. It's their anniversary, same as my brother and his sister-in-law. But basically, the book, and Scott, you talk about that. We were taught to go to school and get an education and go find a nice, safe, secure job. Well, that may have worked back in the 40s and the 50s and maybe the 60s, but that hasn't worked over the last couple of decades for most of us. And unfortunately, majorly with the baby boomers and, the generation before, they were caught in some of the financial disrupts, if you will, 9/11, 2008, the real estate crash, and most recently between 2020, 2021, there were some issues with the market, and 401ks were turning into 101ks, and one of mine flatlined. So it really brought some type of realization to myself, and we left our financial planner, because we wanted to explore other options, because the traditional systems were not working. And I've always had the belief that we live in a world of corrupt and broken systems, and those systems are made for those who create them, and the masses really suffer from that. So this book is really geared at focusing on parents between 30 and 45 who have children, and really have come to a realization that we are in a paradigm shift. There's so much going on today with regards to not only the finance aspect of it, but medicine and technology, and things are moving at a much more rapid pace, if you will. And I educate, or I talk to people about, think decades ago, for those of us that are old enough, when Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, and Amazon announced their technologies. It was revolutionary, and people were like, that's not going to last. Well, many of those are industry giants today. And that is where we are today with regards to what's called blockchain technology. It's the next revolution of technology, and a platform that all companies are starting to embrace and become part of, because it's a new way of developing all types of applications and securities and accountability, tracking, less fraud, which has happened tremendously, with the previous systems. So this book is geared for those parents who have woken up saying, you know what, something's going on here. We need to start learning more about this. And then the book is geared for them, not only to read it themselves, but share it with their children. because their children in 10, 20 years are going to be living a completely different world than we are living in today. And what I love about it is it's geared at an 8th to a 10th grade level reading. It's very generic. It's very basic. It's a foundation to introducing, the technologies around a blockchain with cryptocurrency and digital currency and AI, so forth and so on. And it's taking that and saying, here's what we have here, and we're building on top of that. And hopefully that will go into the second edition of the book. This is the first edition.
Well, I can, excuse me. Well, I can tell you, Jeff, that there's so much out there. It's so overwhelming how quickly things move. And I think the people get caught up in fear of doing things. They get frozen in fear instead of taking action and learning. And education, like you said, learning by your book and by other information,
right,
helps you so much to be able to take those baby steps into the future. And I think without that action, we do get like totally frozen and it just passes us on by. I've learned with AI and with other technologies, I just have to dip my toe in the water, take the next step, just start doing something and figuring it out and reading people like you that know what's going on. So how do you help encourage people that have that overwhelm and that, frozen feeling from fear?
So that's a great question. And I do want to give you a plug. Life happens and then you choose. And that's exactly what has happened to me since before 2018. Because in 2001 and then 2008, I had devastation financial loss with 9/11 in 2008, the real estate crash. And I had spoken with my financial planner. We had spoken with our financial planner, say, hey, we need to make some changes here. Oh, and I asked him to look into blockchain technologies. Oh, that's a farce. It'll never work. It's a scam, whatever the case may be. Then in 2020, 2021 was another major, major disrupt. So that's where, life happens. We made a choice. And I think I'm going to go back to what Scott talks about, this box. We're put in a box, and we're put in a box to stay comfortable and don't step out of that box. And that's where life really happens. You have to step out of that box because we were taught to trust the government, trust the insurance companies, trust the medical system, and nothing is perfect. So when things start to happen, and you want to grow, that is where growth is going to happen. Stepping into your uncomfortable zone and learning something different, because just look at every decade, things change. And if you don't evolve with those changes, then you'll be left behind. And it's not to say that my whole theory is get educated. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't resonate with you, great. At least you got the education so you then can make an educated decision. And that's basically been my whole story with my health situation, with my finances, in life in general. I became the CEO of my life. I still reach out to experts and professionals to, fine tune some of my decisions to make sure I'm on the right path. But I've had to learn and not rely 100% on an accountant, on a financial planner, on a doctor, on this or on that. They have a foundation, but then I want to be in control. And it's been a blessing because I lived decades with major stress, anxiety, and depression. And I do promote that, but I have disclose this in my journey that I am a survivor of childhood molestation and chemical dependency and 2 attempted suicides. So I'm still here for a reason. There was a journey for me to meet, and now I feel I'm in that journey and I'm sharing that with other people. And so that's what I love about what I do and why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, Jeff, it's quite a journey. I'm glad you're sharing this, being open. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Also, that your book being written in an entry level is a great place because so many people don't even know what questions to ask.
Right.
And so being able to get, a foundation and just kind of go, okay, now this is going to lead me to some of the questions. And one of the things that we question is, what is this structure that was placed upon me? Right. This as we kind of went through. There was here in Texas, down at the University of Texas in Austin, the marketing department did some research, and a book came out of that. And so we'll just say, hook 'em horns there for everybody, UT Austin. But the book was titled something like, "If You're So Rich, How Come You're Not Happy?" And you were talking about a life of abundance, and part of what they look at is people's perspective about a world of scarcity versus a world of abundance. And so,
Correct.
give us some more insights on abundance.
Yeah. So, I have my own podcast, Holistic True Wealth, and true wealth is not about money. I look at it is part of the formula, and that true wealth is the combination of your physical being, your mental being, your emotional, your spiritual, and your financial. So it encompasses all of them. And to be able to integrate those into your life, I believe, is the perfect formula for individuals to live in abundance. And abundance doesn't necessarily mean, to be a multimillionaire or multi-billionaire. What do you define abundance as? I want to be able to go and come as I please. I want to be able to make the choices and not be restricted, because what is the number one restriction for everybody is finances. If they can't go on a vacation, they can't buy a new car, they can't give their kids a great Christmas. Why? Because they don't have the finances. So that's a restriction. So what is abundance? And some people, their idea of Christmas is just one gift, and that's fine. That's their abundance. You define what abundance is. And for me personally, it is the aspect of being able to have that abundance across the I call it the formula that I truly believe in, and I want to be able to share that with others and encourage them to, again, step into their uncomfortable zone, because that's where growth is going to happen. Too many people that I talk to, they're still stuck in that little box, and it does take courage. It does take, and people, you fall, you continue to fall, but you get back up and you keep going. So hopefully that gave some good insight to where I'm coming from with abundance and optimum wellness. And I will add one more thing. Let me add two more things. People say, well, you're right now focusing on finances. Where does abundance and optimum wellness come in? Why didn't you change the name? Well, because that's where I started. This is part of my journey, because the first couple of years I spoke about physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And I never talked about finances. Why? Because my finances were horrible. So how could I talk about finances? Now I can talk about finances. So that's part of my journey. And that's why I stay with that. And then the second point I do want to bring here, because I forgot to mention this earlier, is that this book also is designed to have a sit down at the kitchen table with the parents and the children to do exercises, ask questions. And what did you learn from the chapter? And, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? So it's a practical book for reading and also doing exercises, which is what I really love about it.
Well, it's a blessing to give them that little nudge to actually take some action, and exercises and things do that, which I think is great. And, this whole thing, all that you've talked about, transformation and journey and abundance, we're all on a journey. Life is a journey.
Right.
And I'm just so thankful to God every day for his strength and abundance in my life. And the fact that we all have that ability to move forward and have that abundance mindset as opposed to the scarcity mindset, it's a choice. Every
Exactly.
day life happens and then you choose every day of your life. And so thankful that we have that. And some people it's very hard. And you've mentioned a lot of challenges that you've been through, but that's encouraging for me and for other people because look, Jeff went through this, but look, Jeff came out on the other side because God's not done
Right.
with you yet. And so I'm just so thankful for that. And so as we get prepped, I got to be the responsible host. We're
You
almost
do.
done for the day, but I wanted you to do me a favor and give us your gold nugget of the day. What's the one thing you really want people to remember? And tell us how we get in touch with you.
Sure. The nugget that I want to share, and I share this quite often, is I encourage people to be more open, and being more open with the respect of receiving new information. New information doesn't mean that it's going, it may scare you and it may not scare you, but this is where we evolve within our journey. Think back 30 years ago, where were you and where are you today? Well, you've learned a lot of different things, but I think we have been put into a situation where we're told not to learn. And it's been some type of a deterrent to people. They say, oh no, I can't, that's too difficult for me, or I don't want to learn that. Why don't you want to learn that? What's throwing you off? So be more receptive to getting educated as we evolve over the next decades, because you are going to be an example for your children and for your grandchildren. So that is the nugget that I love to share with the people that I'm in front of. And as far as getting in touch with me, oh my gosh, so LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, just search out Dr. Jeffrey E. Berger, look for the bald-headed dude, and I'm easily found.
There you go. I can relate to that bald-headed dude kind of talk there. And so, Jeff, thank you. What a blessing to have you here today. Thank you for all that you're
Thank you,
talking about.
gentlemen.
We have had people asking, and the wait list link is in the comments. And also, we had showed you the QR code, and we'll also make sure to get a picture of that QR code in the comments. Thank you, Ever. And so people have that as well.
And Russ,
But
let's put that QR code up. Let's put that image up again and tell people, get your phones ready. Russ is going to put up the QR code, and we'll leave it up there for a few seconds. And that way, get your phones ready, get your cameras on. And so there we have the Money Shift, a family roadmap for the thriving in the digital age. This book is going to be launching soon on a couple of anniversary dates. So meaningful, definitely for Jeff. And this book will be helpful for you, but scan that QR code now, get on the pre-launch list, and share with people, because you're not the only one who needs this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there it goes. So hopefully you got it. And again, the code, the actual link is in the comments as well. All of Jeff's
Awesome.
information is in the comments and the show notes. It's clickable, everybody. You go straight to it, straight to Jeff. And if you have any questions, you can ask him. You can reach out to us. Our information is there as well. And just so thankful that everybody is here. Let me get this set. So, Jeff, we're going to say goodbye on screen here, send you to the green room.
Thank you,
hang tight
gentlemen.
for just a sec. All right.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Wow, Scott. Well, great information.
Yeah, and I love his comment about falling. And I remember in junior high, we had like a physical mechanics class as part of PE, and the teacher was telling us that walking is really just controlled falling, right? That we're continuing to fall, but we get that foot out in front of us and it stops us from falling. And when we watch a toddler who's just learning to walk, we can understand that a little bit better, right? They do take a few steps and fall, but they get back up again. And so moving forward is just controlled falling.
And I want everybody to know the lesson I learned in skiing. Falling is also learning, because you know what? We all have to fall occasionally to learn how to do things in life. And my teacher, when I was learning to ski, told me, you got to fall. And I said, I don't want to fall. He goes, you got to fall. I said, I don't want to fall. It hurts. He said, you have to fall or you'll never learn. If you don't push yourself hard enough to where you fall, you'll never learn. And just like a baby walking, the baby continues to push themselves until they don't fall anymore, because they learn over and over and over. So great information, Scott. So thankful. Everybody, you can reach out to Scott and I at local.theexperience.video, local.theexperience.video. And I keep trying to put it up on the screen. There it is, local.theexperience.video. Thankful for that. Also have the ticker running again with Jeff's LinkedIn and Scott's and mine as well. All this information is in the show notes and in the comments. Please connect with us. Thank you so much for sharing this. Remember, this show goes from live at 7 a.m. every Wednesday to replay on the same links on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, so you can watch it again. But if you don't have time to watch, guess what? You can listen on your favorite podcast platform, because we're on all of them. So just go to your favorite platform. You'll find us. Thank you so much for watching. Engage, like, and comment and share. Thank you. There you go. I'm going to get those words out and appreciate all of you. Scott, any last words?
You know, it's great. I love the comments. We had people sharing some good stuff in the comments. So everyone go back and look and engage with each other, follow each other, connect here on LinkedIn or wherever you're at, whatever your favorite platform is. One of the things that does the best for Russ's heart and for my heart is when you each connect with each other and build that community in your network.
Yes. So good. So good. It makes Scott and I happy.
There we go.
Kermie, just like Kermie. So, hey, everybody, have a blessed and amazing week. We'll see you next Wednesday. Until then, have a blessed week. See ya. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.